You're about to watch David replace the head unit in our ExplorOz field test vehicle, a 200 series Landcruiser, with what we think is the best aftermarket head unit currently available, the T'eyes CC4 Pro. These days aftermarket shouldn't mean inferior, especially when you're running ExplorOz Traveller for mapping. He's pretty excited. Let's get into it.
So folks, today we're going to install our new T'eyes CC4 Pro head unit, and we'll be replacing the unit that we've had in there in the past for a couple of years now. I'll do different footage as I go through the process and running wiring through the car. This new unit uses digital front and rear cameras, so I need to rewire the front to back with the camera through the roof lining. It also has dual 4G antennas, so I've got to swap a few bits over, take out a DAB radio unit that's on the windscreen on one side, and this side over here is a DAB radio thing, and put in another one. So it'll take a little bit of time. I'll do some footage as we go. Okay, so taking out the existing head unit, I've done this a few times, lifted the panel in here, which exposes the connectors that hold this in. The vents, if you've got a 200 series cruiser, they just pop out. You basically have to give them a bit of a reef and a pull, and then they just come out. And the cables that are on the back here, you can just pop those off. And then the unit itself, once you've got the air vents out and the top panel off, you just basically pull and out it comes. So that's now the head unit disconnected, and then obviously you can see the jungle of wiring at the back. It's really all based on a harness that comes with the units. There's obviously other things like cable cameras and things that run out and all over the car, and the antennas and things, so it looks a bit messy, but it's not too hard to do really. And for this upgrade, we're actually keeping the surround unit that was built on the last units. These seem to be all the same, the surrounds that come with the head unit. So take out a few screws from the back here, and the unit will just come out of the frame. So we've got the frame to go back in the car. This is not the original Toyota frame. This is a frame that came with these particular units. And so we just swap the frame and we put the other head unit into the frame. Okay, so 4 screws, and 1, 2, 3, 4, put it in, and then hopefully it looks all fancy smancy on the other side. Look, you can see me in the reflection, it's so shiny. So I've kind of got most of the harness out now, but what you'll see is that when I installed the last one, I've wired the this unit down here, which is my cameras that are in the camper trailer, and the horse floats and the other things that we tow. All the wiring for that is in the back down here. You can see all this mess of wiring here. And so what I've done is I've run the power for this into the wiring harness for the car stereo. I could wire it into the original car wiring, but I don't like to do that. It's easier. So I'm just going to make some adjustments on the new harness, which is this one. And I'm just going to put these wires back. The other thing you've got to find is a reverse wire, and I've got one here, and it's actually come from an original camera installation that was put in, and it runs from up the back of the car. So I just hooked that up for the reverse signal detection. This camera wire here is going to come out. There's another camera wire here somewhere. This is the original that came with the car when I got it. So I'm going to disconnect this, but I'm going to leave the cable in there because it's the one that's actually running the reverse wire from the back of the car. That the person who installed that did graciously when that went in years and years and years ago before I got the car. The complex parts I've got to deal with is the antenna. The GPS aerial comes out over here. I'm going to replace that this time. I don't have to, but I think I'm going to. And then this 4G antenna up here, that little thing, I'm going to replace that. The old DAB radio, I'm going to replace that. So these pillars have got to come off. I've got to get the pillar off here anyway, because the camera wiring for the back goes all the way through the car, all the way down to the back, up through the roof lining, being careful not to buggerise around with the airbags. You don't want to play with the airbags, and my reversing camera is mounted here. So I've got to get it through to here in the back door, which means I've got to come through this behind all the dirt and the mess that I obviously haven't cleaned up yet. I got to come through this little cable here to run the camera cable will run through there. So yeah, a few bits of work to do. Get into it. Getting a bit cleaner now. I've just basically trimmed everything out. These are those reversing cameras and things that I use in the camper trailer. The other thing I forgot to say I've got to replace is this DVR recorder here. It was connected to the original T'eyes head unit. We've got a new one to connect to this one because it actually has driver assist services, that whether we want to use them or not, but the new cameras have it. Okay, so it's getting more complicated now. You see I've pulled off the speaker covers. So you've got to be very careful when you run the rear camera wiring, obviously not to disturb the airbags, but also to make sure that the wiring goes on top of the airbags, above them, so that it doesn't get in the way and tangle them as they deploy. Obviously going through the headboard lining on this car is the easiest because the camera is mounted on the rear lift up boot. Otherwise you could go down through the floor pans, down through the side channels down here, which we've used for other wiring. This is my in-vehicle charging cables for the batteries in the back. You can either go through there or through the head linings, depending on what you're doing. Obviously with the camera replacement over here, we've got to come up here and the 4G antenna replacing that DAB. We're getting a bit further, so now I've got the 4G antenna installed up there and the wiring run through there. Camera here, and it runs back over and through and down the same column. I've done the rear camera, but it's still hanging out of the back door there. It's got to be finished, so I've got to do that. The dash is all nice and clean, so I've got the new 4G, new GPS antenna. This has got dual 4G antennas, so here's the other one, and then the front and rear camera connections. So they're all in. I've just now got to adjust the wiring harness, and there's the GPS sitting there. It'll sit on top of my dash mat, which is what I've always had, so it works quite well up there. So we're getting there, just got to finalize the dash setup now, and then and obviously the rear camera, but I'll get to the rear camera after I've got the unit in, I think. Let's make it happen. Okay, so from a wiring point of view, I've done pretty much everything I need to do in here now. So this is what's left with the wiring harness for the new head unit. These two connectors here, this one's for an antenna system that isn't part of how this car works, and I think this is the CAN bus interface, and our car doesn't have one of those. It's a bit too old for that technology, which is exactly why I own it. Don't want too much tech in our machine. So there's a heck of a lot of other wires to come in with these cameras and other things, the 4G antenna and the GPS. There's also like extra USB ports on the back of the wiring harness for the unit itself, and it's all very well explained in the documentation here about all the connections and all the plugs and wires and where everything goes, because you can have analog or digital cameras and analog and digital microphones and everything else in here. Anyway, enough of that complexity. Realistically, what's left for me now is to get the head unit and stick it in here and just hook up all the connections and auxiliary connections, and I'll come back when I've done that. Last thing I thought I'd mention is on our old unit we had a Telstra SIM card used for connectivity, and we've got to take it out of the old unit, and then the new wiring harness has a connector for your SIM card in there. Okay, so now the unit's installed, let's boot it up and have a look. This is the head unit. This is the T'eyes CC4 Pro. It's amazing actually, the features and the functions in it. What you can see on the display here, this is the home screen. There's a few different variations of the home screen. It's got lots of integration. You can actually set it up with your user account here, and it can tell you when the car starts, and you can follow it as it moves around if you want. A lot of the features that some of the newer cars have, it can give you the recordings for your previous trips and stuff like that, and this can send you this sort of information directly to you as the car moves. You can also interrogate the front and rear cameras remotely, so you can see where it's going and all that sort of stuff. If the security, if you've obviously got the security set up. At the moment, on our setup here, on the home screen, we've just got the T'eyes radio, which is basically an online radio service, and you can program in radio stations into that. You can see ADAS controls here, so that's the car here, and this car here that it's showing you is in my rear. If I quickly show you, our other car is just parked out there. So you're seeing it on the display. So yes, it's got all those controls that tell you the cars that are around you, in front of you, and all that sort of stuff. And we've got a compass control over here. These are all configurable. You can just tap this button on either side, and you can change what you want to see. So if I wanted to put, you know, ADAS and terrain, it'll put a little terrainy pictures behind that. If I just want the terrain, there's another mode here, map, which I'll show you in a second, and ADAS, which is what we had on before, which is what puts our little car behind. You can obviously put any of the music types down the left hand side. I'll just leave it where we had it for now, but I'll just change this one to map, go back to the home screen, and now it says basically open navigation. If I press this same button sort of thing on the other side, it allows me to turn on the TPMS or address or weather, and then the ADAS functions and things in the middle. So you can configure it, you know, you can put TPMS on here and you can see that it's done that. You can put the compass back on. And so that's just the head unit home screen. I've obviously, as I said, installed ExplorOz Traveller, or I've linked it as the default navigation app, and it'll also be the default navigation app here. So obviously if I boot up ExplorOz Traveller, there's a few things that we can do with this head unit. You're seeing it boot now in real time, and it's up and running. It's ready to go. So very fast on this T'eyes head unit. No complaints about the performance. We've got a little button up here, and we can press this, and it'll just drop out that lower line. We can also turn off the status line by setting a setting in the Traveller app if you want to go to full screen mode. So you can turn off and on that little bottom line, and then obviously the Traveller app works just as it always does, giving you that reliable offline connectivity. We're using the offline maps here, so it's doing what it normally does. One of the features I wanted to show you was that with this unit, if we drop back to the home screen where it says that navigation in the middle there, what you'll see is it's actually now showing the ExplorOz Traveller navigation panel inside the home screen. So as you're moving along, the map will move with you, with your arrow, along this screen. That's a pretty cool feature. So you can have the radio, the car obviously gives you the speeds, etc., coming from the GPSs and from the ODB2 if you've got that sort of connectivity. This car's a bit old school, doesn't have that level of high-techedness. And obviously the compass or whatever other device you want to turn on there. So integrated map screen can pop up here, which is really
sure thing.
Oh, quite a cool thing. That's voice control that you can do with this thing as well. I didn't realize it was on, but if you watch this little volume control here, you can say things like volume 10.
As you wish.
And it changes the volume and tells you. Or you can say volume 5.
Got it.
And it'll do that. You can also tell it to do your phone, and you turn on the radio, and it'll probably do something if I say the too many command lines. I haven't fully scoped up on all the commands and all the things that are available in the head unit, but certainly from our point of view with the navigation functions, you get this awesome mapping interface. And again, of course, you can go straight back to full screen. It doesn't restart the app, so it's nice and fast. It actually uses the same app screen, same app version between the full screen navigation and the little navigation. Obviously the home screen is just putting a surround around here and giving you that interface. Really cool. The device is awesome. One of the things that I've found when I've been playing with this, if I just go into the apps list, there's apps list here. One of the apps, and there's a heap of apps that come with the thing. There's a GPS test one here somewhere. I've forgotten what it's called. Where is it? No, okay. There is a GPS test, and I booted it up the other day, and it told me that this thing had 70 satellites in view. It uses every satellite available, and that was inside my garage. So it has really high level of accuracy. It's using dual band GPS, so it actually has two complete GPS things running at the same time. So it's really good, and it's really fast. there's a whole heap of other things. I put the integrated buttons that were an optional extra on the, because we don't have those sorts of things on our old school car. So having those controls helps. Yeah, I mean, other than that, it does everything that you would expect an Android head unit to do. It does it fast. It's very good. It's got a very good demo and presentation about itself on the demo. I can't fault this unit. It's been great. T'eyes CC4 Pro. Yeah, a great tool with all the things. So you've got, there's your cameras, there's the rear camera, front camera. The music controls are all quite good. You can program them all in and have all sorts of different music setups. There you go. And then obviously the navigation popping up on the home screen. So I'm impressed with the unit. We're very happy to have it installed. Hopefully we'll get many years of good service out of it.